Okay, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Super excited to be chatting with James today about the mortgage industry and the Bank of Canada's rate announcement yesterday, which was a hold. And we want to be able to address some of the questions that everybody is thinking, but not always asking out loud. So, super excited to have you, James. We're going to dive into this content, and obviously your expertise in the mortgage world is super helpful to me because that is not my forte. That is your forte. Awesome. So
Sounds good.
let's start with the big news from yesterday, which really isn't big news. I think everybody anticipated that they were going to maybe hold the rates. Everyone was hopeful that maybe that wasn't going to be the case, but that was the case. Is that what you were expecting?
Yeah, pretty much. I think when the numbers came out on the inflation and on the unemployment, you kind of were hoping that they would cut a quarter at least. But you hear rumblings that they're gonna wait, they're gonna hold off. It's like there's so much uncertainty out there that they really kind of really didn't want to make that cut. But
Yeah.
we were all hoping for it.
Yep, for sure. And I just want to mention too, while everybody's kind of watching, if you have questions, pop them in the comments and they will literally pop up on our screen so that we can address those live. Now, if you're watching this after we're done and it's just a replay, we'll still answer your comments and questions. It'll just not be the live interaction kind of thing. So yeah, so I think that everybody was kind of hopeful that we would see, another 0.25%. But really, at the end of the day, I mean, no change is no change, obviously. And I think in this real estate market, if you're looking to buy, don't be waiting. Like you should be buying now, right?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a like it's an uncertain market where, and it all depends on where you're at as well and where you're located. But I think if you are that first time home buyer and you are like job security is big, of course, too, with the tariff announcement and things like that. I'm seeing a lot of uncertainty in the job market as well. So if you got a secure job and you've been kind of holding off and you are ready, like you're pre-approved, you're all ready to go, and it does make sense for you, it is the time, I think, anyway, to get in there for sure.
Yeah, because I think while everyone's sitting on the sidelines, you know, there's opportunity in the on the listing side of things for buyers to take advantage of that. But I do think too that people need to take into consideration, the months of inventory in their area, because that obviously plays a role as well. Because if there's an influx of homes, um, then obviously that's not going to help the buyers out any. But if there's not enough homes for the buyers, um, then we're looking at the prices going up. So if there's we want people to be buying now because there's deals on right now, like real estate is on sale.
Yeah, and I think it's too. It's you could actually have that kind of conversation with the experts, right? Like with getting pre-approved correctly and really looking at your finances and speaking with a realtor and like actually putting a plan into place where you can make that offer and really have your conditions of financing, have your home inspection, have all the basics, and not worry about getting bumped out.
Yes.
Where if the market gets a little crazy, it's a little tougher for those first time home buyers, and a lot of them
Yeah.
don't really understand. And it's hard, right? When people, some are selling, some are downsizing, some are making moves, and you're going to compete with them, and it's tough.
Yeah, for sure. So if I was a buyer right now, especially a first time home buyer, there's obviously a lot of noise. Let's bring clarity to some of the biggest questions we hear, which is one of them is how does a rate hold impact my buying power today? Which is really if there's a rate hold and you have a pre-approval in place, there's really no change, right?
Yeah, pretty much. With with the rate hold, I think everybody focuses a lot on that. But when we're talking about first time home buyers and people like getting in the market, chances are you're not going to do a variable anyway. You're going to get into the fixed market, right? So you're going to be
Yeah.
watching the bond yields. You're going to be watching exactly, like, chances are you're going to get a 5 year fix just to
Right.
get used to it. So yesterday's announcements was really not going to impact them too much.
Right. And so, what is your advice on fixed and variable? Obviously, I understand that each buyer's situations are different. So, obviously, you're going to have different advice for different people. But from a generalized standpoint, what is
Well,
your take on that?
well, that's just it. It's every individual. Every individual is going to be assessed differently, right? Like
Mhm.
there's your
Risk
risk
tolerance.
exactly, and that's like that's how comfortable are you going in there, like, and that's why I do encourage everybody to use a mortgage broker because
Yeah.
they're actually watching your product, right? They're actually always ensuring that you're going to be okay. So if you did jump into a variable, they are watching the rates. They should be anyway, understanding the rates. But at the end of the day, it's still your choice. Like if you're a lot of people are scared, like no way, there's no chance. Like it's like gambling, right? Like
Yeah.
you're taking a little bit of a risk
No
there.
risk. They do
Yeah,
not want
so
the
it
risk.
it all matters. It really does on the individual and the situation they're in. Like it's good to look at everything, and even when you're qualifying them, it's always good to go a little higher just in case things do change and do shift because things happen. So it's like how comfortable are you, right?
Yeah.
So on the refinance side, when you're kind of like refinancing people, like I like the variable. I think they still could gain that savings with the variable, and the jump from a variable to fixed it isn't that difficult either, and doesn't cost the consumer any money. So sometimes it's best to do that as well.
And two, not to say that I believe that the rates are going to go up because I don't believe that will be the case. But when you do get pre-approved, you can lock in the rate for a certain period of time, right?
Yeah, and you can also request float downs too. So it all depends on the lender that you're gonna go with, but each lender's got their different criteria that they're gonna follow when they are giving you a rate hold. So they are there. So
Are
it's
you,
quite
sorry,
sorry.
are you seeing lenders starting to work harder to get the client because the competitiveness between lenders? Do you find that you can barter and negotiate a little bit more in this market?
Well, I think being a mortgage broker should always be bartering anyway for your clients,
Yes.
right? It's like even when you get that commitment in hand, like kind of still look out for that buyer and like for your client. But most lenders, they're outstanding, right? They want to work with you. They want to work with your clients. So a lot of them do honor that rate reduction if it happens.
Right. Now, as a first-time home buyer, which incentives should people be considering? Because I know a lot of people do not know about the FHSA as a first-time home buyer. And some stats came out last week on a call that I was on, and 33% of buyers are not utilizing the FHSA program with the government, which blows my mind because this is, to help you with your taxes. So I don't know why people aren't using it, but
Well, it is fairly new. It hasn't been around that long, but I think it's a great program. I think everybody should be utilizing that program because it's your money and you're not paying anything back. So when you do that, when you do utilize it's not like you got to pay it back in 15 years like
that's
the
right.
other loans are. So I think it's great. I think it's one of the better things that our government has done. So I think it's a huge positive, and I think I promote it all the time. So whenever I'm talking
Yes.
to anytime I get a call from a young couple or a first time homebuyer that's like really trying to get into the market, I always ask them
Yeah.
So, do they have one? And if they don't, open one up, because like $25 to start out, like a week, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
that's not really going to cost you a lot.
And
And
if
it
they've
does.
got the money sitting somewhere else or in a checking account or something, why not put it into that? You can literally
Exactly.
have it in the FHSA for like a day or two and still get the benefits of
Exactly.
withdrawing that 8,000 if you just opened it up. Obviously,
Ex-
there's an $8,000 a year maximum, but
Exactly. And I also, it's a good conversation starter to kind of get educated. So I encourage, like, go talk to somebody, go talk to a financial professional.
me,
Yeah, go talk to you, and
yep,
really get the lowdown on other things that are going to benefit you, like learn, like,
yeah, for
and
sure,
start, because there's a lot of things that you can do with your money. And we always promote real estate. I'm still a firm believer that real estate's your number one.
yeah.
And, you know, like a down market, kind of, they might say, yeah, it's a buyer's market, but those are opportunities, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Like real estate is on sale in a lot of places right now. And of course, you want to talk to a professional to know exactly where you're looking. Maybe it is a hot market or maybe it's not a hot market. Your realtor should know, the months of inventory and whether it's a buyer's market, a balanced or a seller's market, those kinds of things. And they will be able to tell you kind of where you're at in the spot
Yeah,
that you're looking.
and I think it's key to know your client. Like, just know your client, work with a professional, like, really, like, with us, know what exactly your 5-year plan is. And you got to also look at, like, what's it going to cost you not to make the move. So, like,
Exactly.
if you're waiting for a big crash to happen, it might not. Like, things might, like, turn, and then you're paying more for that property that you could have got cheaper. So, I just
Exactly.
you don't want to push anybody. You want to really evaluate your situation and your client's situation. But that is what we're here for, right? Like, we like
Exactly.
assess your client and understand. But I agree. I think it's a great opportunity for people right now.
And people who are looking at selling and kind of waiting on the sidelines until prices go up. But really, in reality, if you're selling and buying in the same market, whether the market's up or whether the market's down, you're going to sell up and you're going to buy up. You're going to sell down and you're going to, or sell down, you're going to buy down, right? So essentially, if you're buying and selling in the same market, why are you waiting? It's just make that move, right?
Exactly. And that's why I think it's hard for the consumer right now. It really is, because you got social media, you got, like, everybody,
Oh, the news
yeah,
headlines.
doom and gloom. Everything's doom and gloom, but doom and gloom is also brought out opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I have. I wish I would have done that. But you
Yep.
know what I mean? So it's kind of like we try to pass it on. Like, yeah, it's our business, it's our career. Like, yeah, of course we want you to buy, but I think, like, we also care. Like, we're also going to make sure that, you are okay. And,
What's
like,
best for you.
exactly.
That's why I like working with people like yourself
Yeah.
because we have the same mind frame in the sense that we like our situation may be completely different. We're going to give you advice based on your situation, your specific where you are in life and knowing all the details and being able to guide you through that with for what's best for you at that moment, right? So,
Yeah. Exactly. And we don't have a crystal ball, but we could at
yeah,
least, you know what I mean?
only we did.
We are gonna advise you. We are gonna give you the best advice. And, hey, it might not be perfect, but we are gonna do our due diligence and really look out for you.
Yeah, and I think really with all the uncertainty with the tariffs and all that stuff, I think that strategy matters in this market. And in order to come up with a good strategy, you need to be talking to your mortgage professional, your real estate professional, your financial advisor, all those people to kind of help you get a big picture of what am I looking at here and what is best for me. I know that there's like 1.2 million Canadians this year with mortgage renewals coming up. And we're
Yeah.
already halfway through the year, so that means I don't know how many people have already done this renewal or who's yet to come, but what's your advice on that?
Well, like I said, to talk to even somebody like myself, it doesn't cost you anything. So what do you
Yeah.
got to lose? Sit down and have that conversation. And this is where I kind of would have liked to see more of a rate drop, because there's a lot of people that got put into those cheap variable rates back in the COVID times, and now they're coming up. So they got hit at the start and they're getting hit at the end, right? So
Yeah.
it's just have the conversation. There are so many options if you do have that conversation. Like, the lenders are great, and they really understand what, because everybody's going through it, right? Like,
Yep.
it's not just our clients. It's like everybody's going through it. So we
Hmm.
understand, and we're always going to try to find solutions for you. And
And
having that conversation with a professional really, really opens the doors for you, and kind of, you know, take a deep breath. I always tell everybody, some people call me and they're like, oh my God. I'm like, just relax, take a deep breath. We'll lay it all out on paper. It's probably not that bad. And
exactly. And the thing is, the one of the biggest things that I have to coach my clients through when their renewal is coming up, and they usually call me and they're like, so my renewal's coming up, what do I do? And it's
yeah,
like, do not click the accept button because it's easy and fast. First of all, you're not necessarily stuck with that lender, like if they're with the bank or whatever. And secondly, the convenience can completely cost you a ton of money if you're not going to do your due diligence with this next step, right? And it could cost you thousands and thousands of dollars if you don't do your homework. So I think a lot of people don't realize that my mortgage renewal is done with RBC and I just need to renew it with RBC. No, go shopping, go rate shopping and negotiate so that you do have the best deal.
well, I think a lot of people nowadays too, it's like with technology at your fingertips, are looking for convenience, right?
Mm,
So I think a lot of it comes down to that people like think that, oh my God, they're giving us a mortgage. Thank God they're giving us a mortgage. And that's completely untrue. It's like, don't just accept it. It's the biggest one, probably one of the biggest purchases of your life. It's your biggest expense. It's sit down with a professional, speak with them, and learn what your options really are. And
yeah,
chances are that rate that you just got offered and that you're going to click on your phone to accept, it's going to cost you $10,000 to $20,000 over the term. So, and it's probably not even
exactly.
a product. It's probably not even a product that you should be in. So
Yeah,
really educate yourself, really talk to somebody. It doesn't cost you anything. And
exactly.
you know you're going to learn, and you can negotiate with some confidence. So
Yeah,
don't think that great, like thank God they're giving me a mortgage. No, you're make people work for you. Like make them battle it out. Make them give
yeah.
you kind of what you want, because you guys, like, it's a lot of money. You deserve it.
And I think people get afraid because I think some people, when they first got their mortgage, maybe they were in a better financial position, and maybe today they've piled up a ton of debt and are afraid to go somewhere else because there's no way we'll get accepted for another mortgage with the debt that we've accumulated or whatever. It's still not going to cost you to look into these other options. And maybe, unfortunately, maybe it is going to be the best option for you to click the accept and just renew. But chances are 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be the best option for you.
Yeah, and chances are that same lender that you just clicked on already had another offer that they would have shot you if you kind of would have just picked up the
If you
phone and
said
talked to
no,
somebody. Yeah. So why do that, right? And I get it. Everybody's living a busy life nowadays. Like, everybody, time is hard for, like, there's like, I feel like parents are just working so hard in sports and school, and it's a lot of stress. The last thing they want to do is talk about their mortgage, right?
yeah,
So
nobody ever has time for the important stuff. But really, in
exactly,
reality, this is the
exactly.
stuff that you need to put time aside to educate yourself about.
Yeah, and I'll make it just as convenient as well. Like you know what I mean? It's a quick phone call, learn a little bit about you, and give you some options.
Yeah, exactly. And somebody that actually cares, as opposed to the bank, they're not asking you how you are in a like your financial situation, what's changed in your life, what season are you in. There's so many factors that come into play with this next chapter of your renewal. So you definitely need to talk to somebody like James and get your options laid out on the table for you so that you can make an educated decision. And that's kind of where we want to roll into real estate school. So James and I have partnered together to create a space for buyers and sellers and homeowners who want to educate themselves and have the professional guidance and support by the two of us who can help guide you in the season that you're in, where we have lots of education inside of this community on school, and we will be doing interactive opportunities, Q&As, and first-time buyer boot camps and first-time seller boot camps, because even though, like, for example, I just met with some sellers the other day who've been in their house for 36 years. It was their first house, and now they're making a move, and they have no idea how this process works. And so, sometimes you need to educate yourself on what this process looks like, and we can definitely help you with that. And this is what real estate school is kind of all about, is to help educate and guide you. And we're just launching this, so it's not like we've got 100 hours of education inside of here, but we're definitely there inside and available to help you. And so you can go to realestateschool.ca to check that out. And school is not SCHOOL, it's SKOOL because of the platform that it's on, and it's completely free to join. But it's a space where you can learn at your own pace. You can reach out to us directly and have access to us on a personal level. And it's just a place where we want to make sure that you are making educated real estate decisions and making good ones, because we don't want you to have we don't want you making regretful real estate decisions, because then we have to fix the mess, and we don't want to do that.
And we also want to make it fun because it's an exciting time. Like
Yeah,
I get more excited for the purchase than I think my clients do. Like it's so exciting. Like
yeah,
it's great. So all the stress and everything, like let's take that away. Like, leave the stress for us, right? And make it
yeah,
fun.
exactly. We deal with these things every single day, like paperwork and lawyers and all that stuff. I always tell
Yep.
my buyers, all you have to do now is wait for the lawyers to call you to make that appointment. You don't have to forward paperwork. You don't have to do anything. Like, just sit back and get excited and start planning, the move and the house and that kind of thing.
Yep.
So awesome, James. Well, hopefully we were able to give you some valuable tips and information today. This is what we're all about. We want to just be transparent, and we want to give you real advice in real time, and that is, connected to the market that we're in right now, which it changes. The landscape changes, seems like on a weekly basis, not daily basis, but more of a weekly basis. It seems like things change. So we want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date information and have access to us, which please feel free to comment below or reach out to us directly. We'll be happy to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Okay. Bye.